Number
seven.
Number 7, we go to the UK.
Oh, Rishi Sunook. Yeah.
Defying all odds, defying them, all of them. Everybody expected Bojo the clown, to return triumphantly. But it turns out that the Conservatives do have a survivalist instinct in them after all. And they managed it. They managed
to put in the only person with more than 5 brain cells.
With 5 brain cells, let's say.
Good old Bojo dropped out of the race.
Good old Bojo dropped out.
It would have gone to the base if he had just stayed in the race.
As we stated, I mean, I do believe that the base would have voted for Bojo, most likely.
I agree.
Maybe they could have voted for
those people don't have a survival instinct, though. Those people want to be entertained.
Yeah, and they've made their lot, those people. But it turns out that the Conservatives really did it, and they managed to keep the Conservative voting members out of the contest, which allowed Rishi to basically be coronated as the new prime minister.
It's so fun. Like, we've changed 2 prime ministers since the actual elected guy was
that
prime
was
minister.
That was in 2019,
and the last one wasn't elected by anybody from the members of parliament.
Yeah, 150 morons gave their support.
See what you did there.
But I mean, you couldn't trust the esteemed Tory voting membership. I mean, these are people who pay every year to be members of the Tory party. You can't trust them with an election.
Exactly.
Genuinely, by paying to be a Tory, I think genuinely you should be excluded from all elections. It should be automatic. But they cut them out. They cut them out because they knew it was unite or die, as Rishi proclaimed after his victory.
Bring in the person of Indian origins.
Oh, Jesus, Luigi. Wrong, so wrong.
I'm sorry.
Heritage. He's a UK bastard, all right.
All right. He's also a Goldman Sachs bastard, all right.
No, they work with Macron. Anyway,
Rishi at least can probably guide a country without imploding it on purpose.
I mean, that was the whole thing, isn't it? That the Tories chose to unite instead of die, at the moment at least. But I mean, let's read through this, because
let's do the article.
I mean, Rishi is just a guy with 5 brain cells. It's just, I mean, they're still going to go for collapse, but it's going to be a slow managed collapse, Luigi, an establishment collapse. It's not going to be an unreal collapse. I agree with you. If what you're going to say is that ASCII governed, he wasn't that bad, 100%, but considering who he is,
not only
in
that,
his life, in his political life,
he's going to have 2 years to work with. Oh, I was the prime minister. I've got the experience now.
Definitely.
And I mean, that resonates if the economy is not in the gutter in 2 years.
Isn't it unbelievably funny, though? That, I mean, first, the Brexit thing. First, they go with Bojo, who was a serial flip-flopper. I mean, fair enough. He was in charge of the Vote Leave campaign. But, I mean, he doesn't give a shit. Look at him. All he cares about are the parties. And then they go with Truss. Every hardcore Brexiteer member of parliament goes with Truss, even though she voted Remain. And now, reluctantly, they back Sunak, who has always been a Brexiteer. Isn't that amazing?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
because Sunak appointed Jeremy Hunt, kept Jeremy Hunt as the chancellor, and the chancellor is usually the next person in line. So, yeah.
So Hunt was a Remainer.
Hunt was a Remainer, yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
So was Truss, Luigi.
I mean, obviously, half the party was Remain. I mean,
Sunak was always a true believer in the power of Brexit.
Yeah.
So that's just
let's do trade deals with Mother India.
You asshole.
He was an agent all along.
Can't sell. That's the famous European racism.
Not even. It's just.
I'm just asking questions.
I'm just curious.
And then you had, just before I get to the article, the coronation of Rishi Sunook people, in case for the dim-witted among you who haven't caught up. But I get there. It's amazing because Liz Truss did basically one of the main blueprints for Brexit. Basically, what she did is she got elected and she was like, fuck me, let's do the Brexit shit we've always dreamed of. And I'm going to deregulate, I'm going to get rid of the top taxes for the top earners, I'm going to get rid of the caps on bankers' bonuses. And then everything fucking collapsed, the economy fucking cratered until she took everything back and then resigned. And now what are they going to do, Luigi? What are they going to fucking do? Because that was the fucking plan, wasn't it?
No. What they're going to do is they're going to scrap the tax cuts she was going to do. They're going to keep the energy price ceiling cap.
That's going to
the carbon energy prices.
If that gets removed, we're going to get riots.
But because we are ex-Goldman guys and we understand the markets, we are proper market maestros, we're going to balance the books in a sense. So how are we going to do that? We're not going to raise taxes. So we're going to cut spending.
The NHS is fucked.
Do you want healthcare or energy this winter? That's gonna be it's gonna be the choice.
And they're just there to give fodder to Teddy Cruz so that he can go out on a debate stage and be like the queues at the British NHS. Well, I mean, they keep fucking underfunding it. Maybe that's why they've got fucking queues at this point.
No, I'll bet it's because British people
socialist,
they enjoy queues.
Yeah,
they love queues.
They do love a good queue. It's true. Let's get on with the article.
The ultimate socializing mechanism.
It is. You
be stuck in a queue.
You learn a lot of things in a queue. About yourself, about
perseverance,
duty, discipline. Let's get on.
Let's do this.
Rishi Sunook has warned the Conservatives that it was time to unite or die. Wow, I mean, it's very die hard, isn't it? It's a very
die hard 5.
Die hard 5. Sunook, unite or die. As he prepared to enter number 10 as the first person of color to become UK Prime Minister. Almost nobody voted for him, though, is the addendum. The former chancellor,
basically nobody.
150 morons, Luigi, please. The former chancellor, who resigned dramatically from Johnson's government in July, that was just July, by the way, will become
feels like a lifetime away.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
Will become the third Conservative Prime Minister in less than 2 months and the 5th in 6 years. As you said, we have gone from the vibrant phase to the vibrating phase.
It's vibrating, all right.
Johnson dropped out on Sunday night, despite claiming he had the support of 102 MPs. That's so fun. That's so Johnson.
Yeah, I could have run. I
had more than enough, but, fuck it. And was blamed by Morton's backers.
They invited me for cricket, good old boy.
I had to go. Yeah, Morton's backers blamed him for handing Sunook a coronation, with MPs in fear of allowing Johnson to return. This is an existential moment. Our party is not fundamentally divided, he told MPs, citing a broad consensus on Brexit, support for Ukraine, and on the need for long-term energy security. To be honest, that's fuck all. I mean, that's just Brexit. I mean, we Brexited, yeah. But I mean, I think there's still disagreement on what's going to happen next. And then support for Ukraine, fair enough. Long-term energy security. Who among us is against long-term energy security?
It sounds too secure.
It sounds too secure.
I prefer the Trump packaging. Energy independence.
We're independent, folks.
We're independent now. It's Independence Day all over again. It shall be known as Orange Penis Day.
Sorry, not independent, from the beautiful Saudis, beautiful Mohammed. We treat him well, folks. We treat him well. And he treats us well. It's a beautiful thing. You know, when you look at a woman, you just know. Am I going to sexually assault you? I just know.
You remember when MBS went to the White House and Trump had like this whole, like Trump was like a petty arms dealer. He like
a second-rate
this,
arms dealer, sleazy one as well.
Yes, sleazy arms dealer. Like
like a car salesman.
He has
sells arms. Yeah.
He had this presentation of like he was showing the camera like, and they're like a helicopter, like an attack, and they're going to buy 30 of this, and it costs at least like $2 million each. like, what are you doing?
He's treating them well. Well, just like they want to be treated. Let's go back to the Sunak, to your fave, your favorite Tory, I would say. Pretty much all of our favorite. I mean, for all of us, he's our favorite. He said a stable and productive economy would be the engine that drives a well-funded health and education service and delivers on net zero, and said it would be an environmentally focused government. MPs leaving the 1922 committee meeting after Sunak's address gave him a rapturous reception, with one Mordan Bucker describing it as the best leadership speech I have ever heard. Wow.
He said while masturbating.
He said while butt pinching and masturbating rapturously. in combined ecstasy. And they were like, oh, Sunak, the Messiah, has returned. This is how low the party has fallen, by the way. He's just a dime a dozen, folks. Wow.
Let's do this.
And I've got a little bit about why. I mean, why didn't Johnson make it? Well, it was interesting. Remember that with Liz Truss, they had gone all in supporting her. The Daily Mail, all the UK right wing shit rags. They went all in. They were only supporting her. The first true Tory budget in a century, good sir. And then the fucking thing got nuked, and then they went after her like it never happened, like nobody saw that. But this time, rather than welcoming back a conquering hero, the front page of the once friendly Daily Mail suggested Johnson should humbly meet with his former Chancellor Sunak and cook up a plan to unite the right and Tory factions inside the House of Commons. On the Mail's comment pages, Andrew Neil devoted a full-page column to the case for Sunak. It is time, the headline urged, for the Tories to put the country first and vote for Rishi, the man the markets trust.
Oh.
And then a similar thing with the Daily
I want
Telegraph.
To be the bond market too.
And then a similar thing with the Telegraph. The headline was about Sunak. And now let's also get to his up. It's interesting to know that this time they hedged their bets.
He kept Jeremy Hunt. And he put Raab as justice.
He put that and deputy prime minister. It's his guy, apparently, Raab.
Guy. I didn't know that there was even a deputy prime minister. That's first. Like, who was it?
Raab was the deputy as well with Johnson.
Okay.
The new prime minister also appointed James Cleverly as foreign secretary. Ben Wallace remains defense secretary. Suella Braverman as home secretary. That's the worst appointment. That was just days after she left the role for breaching the ministerial code with an email leak. Now, when I was discussing it, I failed to mention the technical reason she was dismissed, that she was forced to resign. Mm-hmm. She sent an email to a Tory MP in Parliament from a personal account, wasn't allowed to do that. She resigned. It's a technical reason, folks. They pushed her out, and the reason was that she was too up in arms about immigration, let's say. But she's returned. She's put her back in her position just days after. So, I mean, that is very problematic in my mind. The worst appointment he's made. They resigned this appointment as Sunak is attempting to reach out across the party, given Wallace and Cleverly were prominent supporters of Boris Johnson, while Braverman is influential on the party's Eurosceptic right. fuckers, you Brexiter, what do you want? Leave us alone.
1780 was a great year.
Steve Barclay resumed the role of health secretary, and Michael Gabb, our fave, he's the podcast fave.
No. My fave is coming up.
Who was fired as leveling. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Michael Gabb, who was fired by Johnson, got his old job back as leveling up secretary.
Leveling up, by the way.
There's gonna be so much leveling up, Luigi.
We leveled up. I was thinking about it today. I kept hearing Sunak repeat it, like in his first prime minister questions. We're going to continue the legacy of leveling up. And I was thinking, dude, is it leveling up or is it leveling off? Like they managed to level off the country pretty well. 15 years.
They've really done a number on the country. And the senior, let's go to your fave. One good thing out of this is that there is more quit his government job.
Yeah,
the mockster stepping down as business secretary.
No.
Yeah, that was the one good thing. I mean, at least he's out of the fucking cabinet. He is the worst, as they say.
Yeah.
One of the first tasks of Sunak's new administration will be to grapple with the 30 billion fiscal black hole, which he's likely to be advised will require deep spending cuts, not popular.
Black hole, fiscal black hole, wow.
He said there were difficult decisions to come, highlighted the furlough scheme he devised during the pandemic.
Scheme. I copied the Europeans.
Yeah, I did the same
Europeans.
Thing and insisted I will bring that same compassion to the challenges we face today. Such a shit lip, isn't it? Later in the day.
Full of platitudes.
Yes. The same compassion. Later in the day, he held a series of phone calls. He spoke with the leaders of the devolved administrations, the devolved nations.
Zelensky.
And then, world leaders, including Chad, Zelensky, and Jack Biden.
Chad, the great Zelensky.
He spoke with Chad, the great Zelensky, and Dark Brandon. And easily are two favorite people in the world.
Was watching the first prime minister questions, and Keir Starmer asks Sunak about that recording that Sunak was caught during the summer, like he was taped saying something like
really Tory.
I have the clip. Wait. I'm gonna put the clip on.
Saying the most Tory thing ever.
The most, you don't need to speak the quiet part out loud, but he did.
Getting the funding that they deserve, because we inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas, and that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing it.
Did you get that?
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Deprived urban areas don't deserve the funding, do they?
As Starmer asked him about
those fuckers vote for Labour.
He's like, you weren't elected, and you were saying during the summer that you are not going to help impoverished urban areas.
By the way, very good attack line by Kia.
Yeah, he's Sunak's defense, and this is tragic. He was like, what about the rural areas of this country? And you are like, dude.
Sunak the rural. Savior of the rurals.
Savior of the coal miner everywhere.
After his party, fuck them to oblivion, good sir.
But not Rishi.
All praise the Messiah, Rishi.
Hallelujah.
What do you think? Let's finish up on this with between Keir, Rishi. What changes?
Nothing really.
Nothing,
I guess,
because I think that it's going to be harder on Sunak. Sunak is more to the center. Whatever we said about him being an arch Brexiteer from the beginning, the way he's played it till now is more to the center. Although Braverman belies that.
It's going to be definitely harder for Starmer to keep the lead he has in opinion polls.
I mean, he sounds like a shit lip
in 2 years.
And that's not going to help the shit lip Starmer.
2 years until the next election is a long time. I'm guessing it's really going to depend on how the economy looks when we get there, which is really unpredictable. I mean, you probably have a recession, but are you still in a recession in 2 years? Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, let's put a question mark on this one. We're going to revisit it inevitably.
Obviously, they're going to fuck up again.
There are tons of material